What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Terrence, YouTube's news reporter. And this is your first time on my channel, man. Make sure to like and subscribe button to become part of family. Now let's talk about episode 13. It was a pretty slow episode, and as we know, this episode was a continuation of last week's episode, getting justice for Tamika. But now in this particular episode, Spencer and Olivia are catching slack for what they did in last week's episode. So I really want to start there. To me, in this episode was like Olivia's real taste of what it feels like to be a black person in America. Now, this is just my opinion, and this is just how I kind of took this episode, right? Because now she's getting woke. She's starting to see things for how things really are in America. Well, I guess how things really are in this TV show. But, she's realizing, that privilege card that she's always had her whole life is no longer there. Like, for example, she got a little bit of taste. It's no longer there. Like, she's starting to realize that, certain things in the world aren't right, that people are evil. There's a lot of negative things in the world. But let me give you an example. So when she was walking down the street, when that random white guy was like, listen, those officers had families too. And she was like, are you serious? Is this man really valuing a badge and a police officer over a black girl's life? That was like light bulb number one. That was woke card number one. And then two, when her so-called friend, who she thought was her friend, came up to Olivia and was like, hey, I didn't realize you were racist, and threw a drink at Olivia, they got to argue and all that stuff. And then she wanted to call the police. It's like, I'm going to call the police on her. And Spencer was like, and say what? That y'all got to argue and she threw a drink on you? The police aren't on your side right now. They aren't fond of us. Like, what do you think is going to happen? She was like, are people really this evil in this world? And blase, blase. And that's when the real light bulb went off. And that's why I was like, listen, Olivia finally got a taste of what it feels like to be a black person in America. And then the final strike is when she got followed by the police. She was shaking in her boots. Her knees were clanking. She was crying. All that good stuff. She was nervous. Like, this is what black people go through. You have a police officer following you and you never did anything wrong. And she was scared. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, she got her first taste of what it feels like to be a black person in America. But she had a saving grace. She called her mom. Her mom is still the DA. So her mom is going to raise hell. So I'm curious to see how things are going to play out from here for Olivia. But on a positive note, two positive things happened from Olivia and Spencer's protest. One, the cops got fired. And obviously, Olivia, she really wanted to do more. But Spencer was like, listen, we got to take it step by step. And let's enjoy today. Let's enjoy my mom graduating. And let's enjoy black success. And also, man, shout out to Spencer's mom for finally graduating. That was dope to see. It was really inspiring to see someone at her age. She's not really that old. But at her age, still succeeding in life and showing the youngsters how it's done. So it was really dope to see that. It was really inspiring. And also, while we're talking about Spencer's mom, let's move on to our next topic, man. And that's Miss Grace talking to Principal Carter. Principal Carter has it out for Coach Baker. Obviously, we've known this since day one, right? But Coach Baker does not remember what he did to Principal Carter. And in this episode, he actually tries to sincerely apologize to Principal Carter, but Principal Carter is not hearing it. Not until Grace talks to him, because Grace kind of checked him a little bit. He thought he was going to come to Grace and, spit a little game, because, he got a little thing for Grace. And she was like, you're trying to close the school. Go pop your champagne, go somewhere with that. And he was just like, wait, what? Like, he was so lost in the space. And she checked him and was like, listen, whatever you and Billy, aka Coach Baker, got going on, y'all two need to squash it. Y'all two need to grow and stop punishing these kids. So, long story short, she invites him to her graduation party. And lo and behold, him and Coach Baker squash the beef. And he allows Coach Baker to have the field. And that's my next topic, man. Let's also talk about this. Sorry, guys, I'm all over the place. But I'm trying to squeeze it all in right now and what's on my mind. Coach Baker, man. So Coach Baker is scrambling, obviously, because, the team forfeited the game because they wanted to protest to get justice for Tamika. So they're out of the playoffs. So Coach is still trying to get his kids scouted by having a scrimmage game against some team. And he doesn't have a team right now, and he wanted to use Beverly, right? But the coach was like, listen, my team is still in the playoffs. I admire what you did, but I don't need my players getting hurt. But come to find out towards the end of the episode, every team in the nation took a kneel and forfeited the game because of Spencer's speech that went viral. So that was the second positive thing that happened. As I said earlier, there were two positive things that happened from Olivia and Spencer's protest. The first one was the cops getting fired, and the second one was Spencer inspiring the whole nation, the whole state of California to take a knee. That's dope right there. So, lo and behold, Crenshaw is back in the playoffs, and next week, they're going to play Westlake. And obviously, we know about Westlake. They have the receiver that always goes at it with Spencer, and then we have Simone's ex-baby daddy. So, I'm hoping Crenshaw takes them down, man, because if we went through all this and still lose, I'm going to be devastated. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm like, yo, how do y'all go through all this and still lose? But the preview trailer to next week's episode will be in the description box. As y'all know, I cannot post it in this video because, copyright issues. So that is all the topics I got for today. Actually, I lied. Let's talk about one more thing, man. Let's talk about Preach and Coop. Preach came around to Coop and was like, listen, yo, I want to sell some merch. I got you. I made these t-shirts. And Coop was like, okay, cool. Let's bring it to Layla. Layla, I'm signed to her label, blase. Let's run it past her. She's a person in charge. So Preach meets Layla and, they talk business. And during that business meeting, Layla ripped him a new one. And she kind of belittled him for real. Let's be honest. Like, she didn't let him get a word out. Obviously, we know Preach is a street guy, right? He doesn't have any experience in selling merch. Obviously, he sells t-shirts maybe on the side. He sells some drugs. But, professional experience selling merchandise. And she's basically trying to get that point across. Like, do you have the inventory? Do you have the staff? Blase, if things, when Coop makes it big. And I guess he felt like, yo, you were trying to belittle me. I know what I'm doing. F you. F this. And he came at Coop and was like, yo, listen. Since when do you stop making decisions for your own and you want to be independent, you want to be like Nipsey, now you following rules from her? Like, what's up? So, a little bit later, Coop came to Preach, was like, yo, I want you to be my manager. And that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, yo, so what is Layla? Is Layla not her manager? Is that her, is she just under her label? But I feel like Layla is like her manager. They're great friends. So, like, I was kind of confused of what Coop was trying to do there. I feel like, she's trying to please everyone, but mainly Preach, because Preach always had her back. So I don't know what's going to happen after this. I'm really honestly confused. Truth be told, as y'all can hear it in my voice, like, I'm trying to process this as I'm talking to y'all. I really don't know what's up with Coop, man. Like, Coop is just like all over the place. But I will say, Preach always has her back, and that's what she said. She wanted someone that always has her back, has her best interest. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really know. But I feel like Layla does too. So, I don't know if it's going to play out well. I feel like if Coop makes Preach her manager, things are going to go south. And I feel like she's going to go back to square one and just, rapping on the streets. But that's just me. But let me know your comments in the comment box, man. That is all the time I got for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, man, hit that bell button in the corner to get notified when my videos published. Until next week, I'm going to catch y'all later.